What's up, guys? Welcome back to a video that I wasn't expecting to film. We're here with Josh and his Prius. And as you know, things are going really well with his car, so we thought, why not double up and get another Z? Okay, for real though, this was really unexpected. Just browsing through Facebook, or I think it was OfferUp today, and found a really good deal on a kind of questionable car. I sent it over to Josh. I said, hey, message this guy, because I was at work, and we clocked out, and now we're driving to take a look at this thing. So I guess we'll catch up with you guys when we get there, and fingers crossed this car is not a pile of trash.
Trenches.
Yeah, buddy.
Well, from a random deal I found on OfferUp to pulling this thing out of the yard, we're here. We're just waiting on the tow truck now. We're just going to have AAA bring this thing home. If you didn't notice in the video, it was in a wreck. That's why we were able to get this thing for such a deal. It's missing most of the front end, but really all of it's pretty fixable. And this thing has some pretty cool parts on it. I'll have to do a full walkthrough either later in this video or another video, but Josh and I are both definitely excited. We went in on this thing together, and we don't really have a plan for exactly what we're going to use this car for. It may just be a spare car to let our friends drive. You guys know every time Bailey, aka Cat Daddy, is out here, he doesn't have anything to drive, and I'll always let him do laps in my car, but it would be cool to throw him the keys to this, and that way we can get some tandems. Or if one of our cars are down, or maybe we could rent this thing out, or who knows. It was too good of a deal to pass up on. Got her all loaded up on the flatbed. Gonna get this thing back to my house, and then we can take a closer look and see what we just got ourselves into. All right, it's the next day. The sun's out. Let's take a better look at this car and see if this is one of those deals that we might end up regretting, or if we made a great choice. As you can see, this side of the car is not bad. As we get over here, it is bad. So you can see that's pretty messed up over there. This is actually where the guy's head hit the windshield. Thankfully, the guy driving it was perfectly fine. He was the one who sold us this car. He actually drove it home after crashing that and was perfectly fine, and the car drove at that moment. Since then, it sat for about 6 or 8 months, and it does drive as you saw in the video, but there's something dragging. It doesn't really like to drive in reverse, and I'm not sure if it's the brakes dragging or something underneath. We really haven't looked into it, but it starts up, the motor sounds really good, and at least we know it rolls, but definitely some work to be done. And as you saw, that frame rail on the driver's side is pretty tweaked. I guess it's not the frame rail, it's like the upper, kind of where the strut tower is at. The big question here is, can that be fixed? We're gonna try to fix that on the cheapest budget possible. I really wanna see what I can do myself, just with using tools that any of us have accessible. If this is something we get fixed, I really wanna show you guys that this can be done on a budget. And maybe this is a cheap way you can get into a drift car yourself. That being said, if it all goes south and we can't fix it, there's more than enough parts on this car to make this whole deal worth it. Like I said, just the fact that it's a running, driving manual 350Z, that by itself is worth the price we paid, plus all the parts on it. So I'm gonna get into this thing a little bit deeper and show you guys some of the cool stuff that's on this car. So as you can see, we have an aftermarket rear bumper. This car was cut for overs. Unfortunately, we don't have the wide body that was on this. We've got these giant and kind of goofy TSW 20-inch wheels. Those are going to be coming off the car right now. As we move inside the car, we can see the airbag went off, but it has some kind of interesting seats, some kind of harnesses. Don't mind that noise. Aftermarket head unit. And it came with half of an NRG quick release. Those are factory Brembos. That's definitely a bonus there. This has a full engine exhaust. Not just a catback either. From what I can tell, it's got aftermarket Y pipes. The guy said it has test pipes, and he also said it has headers, although I haven't looked in the engine bay to confirm that. That would be pretty cool if it has a full exhaust. Also has a pretty cool Kinetics intake manifold. You don't see those very often. And this over here, this goofy thing, is a giant Battle Arrow chassis mounted wing. So at some point, this thing was somebody's show car, with it being wide body, the huge wing, a bunch of aftermarket parts. I'm sure it was pretty cool at one point. It's definitely not that way anymore. But if it's up to me and Josh, we definitely will get this thing looking and driving a whole lot better than it is now. I'm excited to get into it. We're probably not going to dive into the actual deep work of it just now, because we do want to get Josh's car sorted and get that thing ready for the track. And hopefully this car won't take a lot, but it's still going to take some time and energy, both of which are a little thin right now. But I just wanted to show you guys what we got, what's here, and the work we've got cut out for us. All right, it's been a couple days or maybe a week since I've showed you guys this car. Let me show you what's gotten done. Hasn't been a lot. Josh and I have been really busy, but I did find out a bit more regarding the damage on this car and figured out what was dragging, and thankfully it's nothing too serious. So let me catch you guys up to speed. We've got 18s on it. These are some spares from my car. Factory 18s off Josh's car up front. Got the front of the car sitting a bit more level. The suspension was like forcibly compressed on that side. And I wanted to show you guys a better picture of the damage here. So really the strut tower didn't move all the way in there. It just moved up here. So this whole kind of like apron section, as you can see, is pushed up and back. So at a glance, that damage looks pretty serious. Obviously that's an important area to be so messed up. But like I said, the strut tower being a bit more inboard on the car helped, because where the shock actually bolts to the chassis didn't move. What moved was everything outside of that. I'm sure the strut tower itself did move, but not nearly as drastic as that like outer rail that the fender bolts to. So I'm hoping if we get a chain or a come along or something along those lines, we can pull that out. Like I said, I figured out what was dragging. It's actually all related to that crash area, because it pushed that section in. It's hitting the brake booster, and it actually kicked it up on an angle. So with the brake booster at an angle, I'm thinking the rod that goes in and out of the master cylinder is slightly compressed, because when I took the wheels off, all 4 brakes are dragging, like pretty good too. You can't turn them by hand. And that's the issue. There's no leaks or anything in the line, but I'm thinking if we pull that section out, it should relieve the pressure off the master cylinder and hopefully get these brakes working properly and not dragging. That would be a big step in the right direction. Like I had mentioned, we're not going to dive into this right now, at least with the fixing, although I really want to, just don't have the time right now. But I at least wanted to show you guys what we've got and what we've got coming, because this is definitely going to be a lot of work and it's going to be a lot of fun. I've done some crash damage repair before, but nothing really that serious. Most of the stuff I've done has been like cosmetic, where you kink a quarter panel on a wall or something along those lines. So this is going to be a little bit deeper than that, and I am really looking forward to doing it and doing it on a budget. Like I had said, I'm going to be doing all of this at home with really basic tools, and fingers crossed it's actually going to work. Again, with our intent of having this thing a drift car, whether it be a rental or just something our friends can use. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect factory spec, everything exactly where it needs to be. It just needs to be close enough that we can get a good alignment on it and make up for any differences with adjustable coilovers and arms. At least that's my thought. Again, with this being a learning curve, I could be totally wrong. But there's only one way to find out, right? Car aside, you may notice I'm wearing a new shirt. That's right, Drift Roulette officially has merch, and this is the first drop, my personal one. Really excited on how this came out. Bailey did a killer job designing it. I will be at Orange Show Speedway this Saturday. That's July 8th, and I'll have a few of them with me. Not a lot, but there'll be a few. That's going to be the first place they're going to be available. After that, I'll end up getting them online so you guys can purchase them if you're somewhere else. And this is only the beginning. There is a handful of other designs Bailey came up with. Roulette is going to have its own line of merch. We'll have the original OG Drift Roulette like comic book strip shirt. That's always going to be available. Again, all this stuff will be on the site pretty soon. But if you want to come get it in person, July 8th, Orange Show Speedway. I'll be driving with the Hot Pit Auto Fest guys. That's going to be really cool. Not in their competition. I'll get there one day, but this is just like an open practice day. The following Saturday, July 15th, I will be with the Flavor Express crew up at Willow Springs. So Horse Thief Mile and Balcony are both going to be open. I'll be driving both of those. So if you're in the area, definitely come check that out. They always throw a really fun event. And then August 5th, Drift Roulette returns to Apple Valley Speedway. I'll have a link down below for driver's registration if you want to sign up and drive. Otherwise, come out as a spectator. The last event turned out so good. It was so much fun, and everybody that went at least told me they had a good time. Hopefully that was true. So if you can make it out, again, that's going to be August 5th, first Saturday of the month. And it's going to be another full day of driving. We have the track from morning to night, which always makes for a good time. I hope to see you guys at one or more of those events. It's always fun meeting you guys. But like I said, I'll have this shirt as well as some others at those events as well as online. So be sure to check out my website. As always, the link's down below. Anyways, guys, I'm rambling. I hope you don't mind the merch plug because this is only the beginning. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this new car. Am I going to be able to fix that damage you saw there, or am I totally crazy for thinking I can do it? Be sure you're subscribed so you can see if I can actually fix this thing. And of course, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thanks as always, guys. I appreciate the support, and I'll catch you in the next one.